Hello everyone, it's Amy, and I am just here to show you how to make some really quick and easy layered flower stencils. These are two that I've made already, and these are what the flowers look like. And I will show you the stencils at the end, but I just want to go ahead and get started to show you how to do this. And all we're going to do, and I'm going to do a really simple pattern for this one, you are just going to draw your flower and draw all of your sections in layers. So I am just going to make basically just a really abstract round flower here. Okay, and then I'm going to want this flower to have a center, let's say a second layer down. You know how flowers have, like, a lot of times in the middle they have where they have a darker veins that come out. So that's going to be my second layer. Then I'm going to want another center layer, so I'm going to do that, and then possibly some dots in the center. Now, what I need to do, what I do so that it's easier for me to cut it out, is I take another piece of paper, and I want to tell you that I was watching a video from Hanny Trump, and she was making bird stencils, and she was making all of her parts separately, and that's what gave me this idea. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take another piece of paper, which I just got black marks all over, but that's okay, and I'm going to trace all of my parts separately. Now the reason that I go ahead and I do them all together in the first place is because you want to make sure that they fit together. You don't want to draw all the different parts and then find out when you go to put your center in, it doesn't actually fit in the center. So first we've got our back layer, and then we'll do our next layer. And this is the pattern that I'm going to use to cut. And then I number them. And also, when you're drawing them on your second page, and when you put them on your stencil, you're going to put them all so that they're going in the same direction. This fits in here exactly like this. So you don't want to, like, turn your page, because then you won't know how they fit together. And there are times when you're going to, when you make something like this, if you turn it, like this is kind of an oval, not really a circle. Well, if I would have turned it the other way, if I were to try and put it straight on here, it wouldn't fit correctly. And then it may look kind of funny. So, and then we're going to maybe do some dots in the middle. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm looking at this circle here, which is what I just traced. And that's what I'm going to use to make my dots. Because again, I want those dots to fit inside of that oval. And so at least I know not to go any bigger than that. So this would be layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and layer 4, starting from bottom to top. Okay, now I'm going to tape this onto my glass, and then I'm going to tape my stencil onto my glass, and we're going to cut this out. And I'm trying to do this quickly. Got some paint here already to try it when we're done. Oops. Flip it over. And then I've just got, this is just a divider that you put in your binders. And it's school time, so things like this are starting to come out at Walmart and everything. I believe you can get 5 in a package of these for 47 cents right now at Walmart. Which actually I think that's the regular price. But, okay, and then you can use a knife, you can use scissors. I use a stencil cutter from Plaid, and all you're going to do is you're just going to start, and I'm going to have to sit down for this one. Just start anywhere and follow your lines. And the nice thing about these abstract flowers is you don't have to follow your lines exactly. You want to stay close because you have to remember that you have these layers fitting together. Don't change your mind when you're cutting unless you've checked your size first. You know, don't change your sizes. And don't forget to keep these pieces because they work great for masks. Is that in shot? Yep. And it's just so simple, and I think it's very effective. It's a very easy, fast way to get all the different colors in your flower and all of the different layers without thinking too much about it once you get your stencil cut for yourself. And these would even be cute on the front of a card, just a mixed media card. We're going to do number 3. And like I said, it's not exact. It's more for the size so that we know it's going to fit. And then I'm just going to cut some little circles here. These are the hardest ones to get out when you cut them. They kind of melt back into the plastic sometimes. Okay, we're going to call that done. Let's take this off. I wonder if my... No, that really didn't work. I thought maybe that masking tape would pull the little circles out of there. So now we have all 4 of our layers cut. We do have to get those circles out of there so we can use this. And this is just such a simple way to do your own stencils and have all those layers. I've been watching all the layered stamps. There's a lot of layered stamps out there. And I thought they were cool. I'm not the biggest stamper though, but I do love my stencils. I think more because I use Distress inks. I love the Distress inks. And I have other ink pads, but I just don't seem to use ink much. I really prefer paint. Of course, ink is really kind of a new thing to me. Okay, I've got most of those out of there, and I can clean that up a little better later. But let's get a piece of paper and try this. So we're just going to start with, oh, and the one thing that I also do is I mark them. If anybody were to come over and want to use them, just so even they would know, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are your 4 steps, your 4 layers. And I'm just using a makeup sponge. And let's pull this down a little bit. Okay. And I kind of tap my makeup sponge off on my plastic, and then when I wash it later, I can wash that off. But I don't like to get too big of a glop of paint on the edge of my stencil because I don't like it when it runs underneath. That's totally fine if it does, and that's the look you're going for. Kind of gives you just a little bit of a distressed look or something, or grunge look. But I like to try and have crisp lines with the stencils. So you want a pretty dry sponge when you're on those edges. And I don't wait for it to dry. I've chosen 4 colors that will blend. And so, because I'm too lazy. Now I have to make sure, you know, I don't want to turn it or whatever. When I drew that out, it was drawn to fit this way, so I know that it will fit this way. And then next I'm going to do orange for the second layer. And then this is a piece of cardstock that I'm putting it on, because then I will put this cardstock in my stencil book right behind this stencil, and then you'll see exactly what it looks like when you're looking at the stencils. Because when you're looking at a stencil, it's hard to see, especially this type of a stencil where it's in pieces. It's hard to really see what it's going to look like. And again, this one's going to go this way. If it were to go this way, it would pretty much touch on both sides, and there would be a lot of gap there. And that's why you want to keep them all drawn in the same direction so that when you line them up, they line up nice and they fit together very nicely, I guess is what I should say. And there's that. Okay, I had one, there it is. Okay, my black paint is really thick and I didn't thin it down. So I'm just kind of trying to thin it out a little bit. I think I'm probably going to have black goop when I pick this up because I have not cleaned all of my pieces out of there and they're holding my stencil up off the paper. Not too bad. It's a little bit smeary. You know, clean those holes up and it will look better. But just a really quick and easy abstract flower. Easy way to cut your stencil. And I have the other two that I made that are a little bit more flower-like. You know, this is very abstract flower, but I've got the little daisy kind of flower, which has the flower and then the center. And I have to say, I love this. I will use this for other things also, not just for this flower. And then the smaller center and then the dots. And this is what this one looks like. So that will go in my stencil book just like that. But in looking at this, it's hard to see. But then when you look at the picture, it's like, oh, that's kind of cute. And then the other one I did was kind of like a Hawaiian type flower. And again, we have the flower itself, and then the center, the smaller center, and instead of dots, this one has the little stamen that stick out like that. So, but anyways, I thought that I would just go ahead and show you how to do that, how to do layers. I think I'm going to try some birds like Hanny did. I thought that they were really cool. She did her birds in parts, wings and beaks, and so she could mix and match them. And I really thought that that was fun. So, but I was in a flowery mood. I'm not sure why. I'm not really a flowery kind of girl. But anyways, that's what I came up with. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.